Look at you. You're watching this right now, searching for the magic words, the permission slip to feel better. You're tired, you're bruised, you've hit a wall, and now you've settled into the most comfortable, most poisonous seat in the whole stadium, the pity party. Let me tell you something, self-pity is a disease. It's not an excuse, it's a choice. It's the soft comfort you give yourself when the world or your own ambition demands that you stand up and fight. You're telling yourself a story right now, a sad story. A story where you are the victim, where the deck was stacked, where things just didn't go your way. I don't want to hear it. The scoreboard doesn't care about your sad story. The clock doesn't pause for your pity. Life is not fair. It never was. It was never meant to be. The moment you demand fairness, you lose your edge. You exchange your power for a complaint. I was cut from my high school varsity team. That's not fair. I lost my father. That's not fair. But did I call a timeout and cry to the world? No. I went to the gym. I found a hole in my game and I attacked it with a venom. That's the difference. The problem isn't the obstacle. The problem is your reaction. Stop looking for sympathy and start demanding respect. And you only earn respect from others, and more importantly, from yourself, when you walk away from the soft comfort of self-pity and get back to work. The time for feeling bad is over. The time for fighting back is now. The second thing you need to grasp is the contract of competence. You don't owe anything to the fans, the critics, or your competition. You owe everything to the person staring back at you in the morning. And right now, that person is looking weak. They are looking for an easy out. You have to sign a non-negotiable contract with your future self that says, I will never voluntarily stop when pain is the only reason to quit. Most people quit one rep too soon. They pull back 1 degree of effort before the real transformation begins. They stop practicing when the burn becomes unbearable. They believe that burn is damage. I'm telling you, that burn is the filter. That burn is the sound of the weakness leaving your system. If you are not uncomfortable, you are not growing. Comfort is the graveyard of potential. Every time you feel that deep, physical, mind-numbing fatigue, that moment where your internal voice screams, stop, just stop, that is the moment you must tell yourself, this is where I get better. This is the secret room where champions are forged. The struggle you are in right now is not a punishment. It is a private audition for your greatness. And if you walk off the stage now, you are proving to yourself that you are not worthy of the future you claim you want. Stop treating your body and mind like delicate instruments that need constant coddling. They are weapons. They are machines built for endurance. And like any great machine, they only get stronger when you demand more than they were designed to handle. You have reserves you don't even know you possess. But you will never access them until you push past the point of reasonable effort. Stop whining. Start demanding more from your own 2 hands. You need to understand the power of desperation, but not the kind that makes you frantic. I mean, the kind of cold, calculated desperation that tells you there is no safety net, no plan B, and no honorable way out but through. When I was playing, I didn't treat every game like it was the finals. I treated every drill like it was the last 5 seconds of game 7. Why? Because I manufactured the pressure. I knew that if the real moment came and I hadn't already experienced that level of internal anxiety and exhaustion 1,000 times in practice, I would fail. Most people wait for the pressure to arrive before they react. The champion invites the pressure, cultivates the stress, and uses it as a training partner. You are sitting there feeling sorry for yourself because you are facing a setback. Good. Now take that pain, that humiliation, that anger, that deep sense of I should be better than this, and use it as the sharpest tool in your box. That desperation is your power source. Every loss, every rejection, every failure is just free data. It tells you exactly where you need to apply the most force. Stop masking the pain with distraction. Stop dulling the edge with comfort. Sit with the failure. Feel how bad it tastes, and then turn that taste into an absolute, unforgiving refusal to ever taste it again. That moment of deep, painful self-assessment is the birthplace of the comeback. You are stronger than you think because your capacity for turning suffering into action is infinite. The only thing limiting you is your willingness to wallow instead of work. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victim of your own weak choices. Fix the choices. Fix the circumstances. Let's address another delusion that feeds the self-pity cycle. The expectation of fair treatment. You think because you put in the effort, you deserve the results. You think because you worked harder than the next guy, the universe owes you a win. Wrong. The universe is indifferent. It doesn't track your effort, it only measures your output. You can work 18 hours a day, but if your output is sloppy, rushed, or fundamentally flawed, the market, the court, or the competition will punish you for it. I had the talent, everyone agreed. But talent is a burden if you don't earn the right to use it. Talent is a promise you make to yourself. And most people break that promise the moment the work gets boring. You have to understand that your talent, your gifts, your edge means you have a higher obligation, not a lower one. You have to demand exponentially more from yourself than the guy who started with less. When I played, I faced players who had less physical gifts, but worked just as hard. If I only matched their effort, I was wasting my talent. I had to outwork the hard workers. I had to outthink the thinkers. I had to make my talent non-negotiable by backing it up with a level of discipline that made my success seem boring, inevitable. Stop making excuses for why you haven't won yet. Stop pointing fingers at the ref, the boss, or the economy. The obstacle is the way. That problem you're complaining about is the exact problem you were meant to solve. If you're truly strong, you don't cry for a fair game. You dominate the unfair one. You prove your worth not when conditions are perfect, but when conditions are impossible. Demand that much from your soul. The moment you start feeling sorry for yourself, you are voluntarily taking a secondary role in your own story. You are stepping off the stage and giving the spotlight to your problems. You are allowing the setback to become the main character. You are the star of your own life, but you're acting like an extra. When I came back from baseball, they wanted me to be the old legend, the sentimental favorite. A nice story. I rejected that role. I didn't come back to be a tribute. I came back to be a threat. I didn't ask for permission to be dominant. I imposed my dominance through sheer, undeniable execution. This is the power you need to reclaim. Stop waiting for someone to validate your effort, your pain, or your struggle. Stop looking for a mentor to tell you the path is clear. You are the clearance. You are the one who has to show up every day and prove to yourself first that you are worthy of the air you breathe and the goals you chase. The strength you're looking for is the ability to say, yes, I messed up. Yes, I failed. Yes, the situation is unfair, but my will is bigger than all of that. That moment of self-acceptance, the unflinching look at your own flaws without flinching away into pity, that is the fuel. Pity is a passive emotion. It waits for rescue. Strength is an active emotion. It demands victory. You want respect, you want to feel strong. Then stop letting your worst day dictate your next one. Your value is not defined by the one punch that knocked you down. Your value is defined by how fast you get up and the venom with which you attack the next moment. Get your shoulders back. Wipe the dust off. The game is not over until you stop playing. You train your body to endure the fourth quarter. You run sprints when your lungs are burning. Why do you treat your mind any differently? Your mind is the ultimate weapon, and most of you leave it soft, pampered, and easily overwhelmed by simple anxiety or self-doubt. You need to train your mind to tolerate suffering just as you train your muscles. When you feel that wave of self-pity, that desire to retreat and blame someone else, that is a mental rep. Do not shy away from it. Instead, hold the feeling, identify it, and then choose an action that directly contradicts that feeling. If you feel lazy, do a burst of intense work. If you feel doubt, repeat your mission statement out loud. This is the process of utilizing the pain. Every time life delivers a punch, a financial setback, a betrayal, a brutal critique, don't treat it like a catastrophe. Treat it like a heavy weight handed to you by the universe. You don't throw the weight down, you lift it. You use the resistance to build internal power. That pain is not wasted if you convert it into growth. It becomes the scar tissue that makes you resistant to the next hit. I never forgot a loss. I never forgot a slight. But I didn't dwell on it with sorrow. I distilled the raw, ugly emotion into a cold, hard purpose. I took the negative energy and made it productive. You are stronger than you think because you have an infinite capacity to convert the negative into the positive, the doubt into the drill, the anger into the action. You just have to stop treating your pain like a reason to stop and start treating it like a reason to push. This is the ultimate self-respect. Let me talk about respect. True respect is never given. It is only and violently taken. And the first person you have to take it from is yourself. When you allow yourself to sink into self-pity, you disrespect the journey. You disrespect the sacrifice you've already made. You look at the warrior you built, the one who pushed through late nights and early mornings, and you tell him it wasn't worth it, I'm gonna lie down now. That is the ultimate betrayal. You need to demand respect from yourself by not accepting your own excuses. You have to be the hardest judge in the room. When you hit that wall of exhaustion, that's when your inner champion has to step forward and say, that's not my standard. We have 2 more reps, or we start the whole thing over. You must become a ruthless enforcer of your own potential. Respect doesn't come from your trophies or your titles. It comes from the unwavering knowledge that you gave your absolute maximum when no one was watching. That internal certainty, that unshakable confidence is the magnetic force that draws success toward you. When you are truly strong, you don't walk into a room hoping people respect you. You walk in knowing they must respect you because you already paid the price they weren't willing to pay. The strongest thing you can do right now is to stop dwelling on the past and stop complaining about the present. Prove to yourself that the future you deserve is earned, not given. Get up, stand tall, look at the challenge and say, I am stronger than this moment, and I am about to prove it. This is not arrogance. This is the pure righteous confidence of a self-made warrior. Your value is measured by your fight. Let's do a reality check. You look in the mirror right now, and what do you see? Do you see the fighter who is determined to conquer the day, or do you see the casualty of yesterday's problems? The truth is, the reflection you see is a direct result of the effort you put in when no one was watching. If you see weakness, it's because you chose to be weak. If you see disappointment, it's because you chose to settle. You are your own damn problem. And that is the most powerful realization you can ever have. Why? Because if you are the problem, you are also the solution. You don't need to petition the bank, the boss, or the economy for a favorable outcome. You just need to change the single thing you have absolute control over: your own internal work ethic. You are stronger than you think, not because you can lift a heavier weight, but because your will can withstand a heavier mental load. The human capacity for endurance, for turning loss into leverage, is infinite, but you have to activate it. You have to treat every doubt, every ache, every complaint as an enemy combatant that must be defeated with immediate, overwhelming action. I didn't achieve what I did by hoping for an easy schedule or a break. I achieved it by looking at the impossible challenge and saying, good, that means the other guys won't show up. Your moment of greatest difficulty is also your moment of greatest opportunity, because it filters out the average. So I'm done talking. The time for reflection is over. The time for the pity party is canceled. Your only mandate now is to stand up, shake off the dust, and prove to the world, and more importantly, to the reflection in that glass, that you are not defined by the punch you took. You are defined by the ferocious momentum of your next move. Go be relentless. Go prove your damn self-worth. I want you to understand the fundamental difference between me and most people. It's not the jump shot. It's not the rings. It's the philosophy of the end zone. Most people are terrified of failure. They treat it like a disease. They engineer their lives to avoid the risk, the exposure, and the humiliation of falling short. So they never try at full speed. They always leave an escape route, a safe distance between their maximum effort and the potential for a catastrophic miss. I'm telling you, I can accept failure. We all fail at something. Failure is a fact. It's an outcome. It's data. It's the price of admission to the arena. If you're not failing, you're not reaching high enough, you're playing too safe. The loss itself is not the enemy. The enemy, the thing that kills ambition, the thing that strips you of your right to stand among champions, is not trying. It's the decision to retreat before the battle is truly over. It's the cowardice of self-preservation. When you accept the comfort of giving up, you commit the ultimate betrayal. You betray your own potential. But we are going one step further. It's not just about trying. It's about recognizing that trying is meaningless until it leads to the only result that matters: success. I can't accept not trying. And more fundamentally, I can't accept not trying until I succeed. The effort is not the goal. The effort is the non-negotiable path to the only acceptable destination. This is the contract. Sign it or get off the court. Let's be honest about the word trying. For most people, trying is an excuse. It's a defense mechanism they use to soften the blow of a loss. They say, well, I tried my best, and then they go home proud of their effort, but empty-handed. Effort without result is a hobby. I want to destroy that false comfort. Your job is not to try, your job is to win. And the only way to guarantee the win is to redefine the word try. For me, trying is a continuous escalating act of aggression against the problem. It doesn't stop when you miss. It doesn't stop when you're tired. It doesn't stop until the mission is complete. When I missed a shot, my brain didn't process it as failure. It processed it as the effort was insufficient. Now adjust and increase the effort. That's the difference. You see the miss as a signal to quit. I see the miss as precise, expensive data telling me exactly what I need to fix for the next attempt. If you accept trying as a ceiling of your ambition, you will always be an almost there. You will be the talented guy who could have, should have, but stopped one push short. I refuse to stop one push short. I refuse to leave any ambiguity in the effort. The only failure I can accept is the failure to make the final winning effort. The failure to stop is your only guaranteed path to success. The effort must be permanent until the victory is permanent. You want to know the true cost of not stopping until you succeed? It's not the money, it's the absolute and total elimination of your comfort zone. To be truly unstoppable, to commit to success as the only endpoint means you have to commit to continuous uncomfortable adjustment. This is where most people fail. They try, they fail, and they retreat to the familiar pattern of their last effort. They repeat the same insufficient work and wonder why they keep getting the same losing result. The unacceptable failure is not learning. The unacceptable failure is trying the same thing 3 times and expecting a different outcome. My commitment to winning meant that every failure forced me to completely rebuild. When the Pistons shut me down, I didn't complain about the refs. I spent the summer transforming my body, adding bulk, and building a post-up game. I changed my entire identity because the old one wasn't sufficient for the win. This is the non-negotiable price. You must be willing to destroy your old self, the one who failed, and rebuild a new, smarter, more effective champion until the win is inevitable. You have to treat every miss as a fundamental flaw in your design that must be surgically corrected. I can't accept not changing my game, not increasing my effort, and not adapting my mind until the final result is secured. Adapt or perish. That is the rule of the relentless. Let's clarify the relationship between effort and obsession. Obsession is not about the result, it's about the process. It's about creating a personal internal standard that dictates that the level of effort applied must be world-class, regardless of the score, the opponent, or the difficulty of the task. When I talk about not accepting, not trying, I'm talking about fostering a cult of obsession, where the idea of quitting is a logical impossibility. Quitting is not an option on the menu. Failure is a temporary result. Quitting is a permanent statement about your character. The average person tries until they hit the emotional wall. The champion commits until they hit the objective wall of the final win. The difference is the mental framework. You must cultivate a mind that views resistance not as a signal to stop, but as a confirmation that you are right where you need to be. The pain, the exhaustion, the mounting failures, that is the final test that filters out the dabblers from the dominators. I didn't stop because I was tired. I stopped because the buzzer sounded and the job was finished. You must adopt that same unforgiving timeline. Your effort is not measured in minutes, but in its duration until success. You must become an unending loop of effort, adjustment, and reapplication until you conquer the problem. This is the ultimate confrontation, the final attempt. The moment where the clock is running down, the resources are depleted, and your mind is screaming, I have tried enough, I am exhausted, this is not worth it. That is the exact moment where the philosophy of the champion is tested and forged. Most people settle for the moral victory of trying hard. I don't care about moral victories, I only care about the scoreboard. To succeed, you must embrace the final brutal attempt with absolute focused aggression. I can't accept you getting to this final stage, having done 99% of the work and letting fear or fatigue rob you of the final 1%. That 1% is where the greatness lives. That 1% is where the price is highest. That 1% is where the weak break and the champions emerge. You are stronger than you think because your will is the only renewable resource you possess. You can always find one more burst of speed. You can always find one more degree of focus. You can always find one more minute of fight. Stop accepting the failure of the last step. Stop settling for the comfort of the retreat. You must look at the problem, acknowledge the pain, and say, I'm not leaving this arena until I get what I came for. I can't accept not trying until the win is secured. Now go and deliver the undeniable proof of your commitment. The failure is acceptable only if it is the direct result of a maximum sustained, relentless effort that you are ready to immediately correct and reapply. The unacceptable failure is the pause, the doubt, the retreat, the whimper. The unacceptable failure is the decision to quit when the win is still mathematically possible. Your commitment must be simple: win or die trying to win. There is no middle ground. There is no acceptable loss of effort. You are not defined by the failure you accept, but by the effort you refuse to withdraw. Go back to your challenge. Do not look for an honorable exit. Do not look for a clean break. Look for the next way to attack the problem, and attack it until it breaks. Now go. The attempt is not over until the success is complete. I see you. You're standing right there at the door of the game you're meant to dominate, but your hand is frozen on the knob. You're not frozen by the opponent. You're not frozen by the crowd. You're frozen by that cold, twisting knot in your gut: fear. Everyone talks about eliminating fear. That's nonsense. Fear is a fact of life. It's the gatekeeper. It's the warning sign. It's the single most honest signal your body gives you that what you are about to do matters. If you didn't feel fear, you wouldn't be aiming high enough. The problem isn't the fear itself. The problem is your relationship with it. Most people treat fear like a stop sign. They respect it. They retreat from it. They let it define their boundaries. A champion treats fear like a scouting report. You acknowledge the feeling, you look it directly in the face, and you start extracting the data. What is your fear telling you? You're not ready, you're not good enough, you're going to fail publicly? Good. That means you know the stakes. That means you understand the cost of failure. Now you take that energy, that raw, anxious, vibrating energy, and you convert it into focus. You don't ask the fear to leave, you force it to sit down and watch you perform. Because the moment you choose action despite the fear, you unlock a level of power you didn't know you had. Stop hiding from the feeling. Use the feeling. The deeper, more insidious form of fear isn't about the outcome, it's about the worth. It's that voice in the back of your head that whispers, "Who are you to be here? You don't deserve this spotlight. You are going to be exposed as a fraud." Let me tell you where that voice comes from. Lack of preparation and lack of self-respect. You feel unworthy because you haven't paid the full price of admission. You haven't done the extra 500 reps. You haven't put in the hours of study when everyone else was resting. Worthiness is not a gift. It is a debt you pay to yourself through effort. The moment you question your value, you need to ask, did I give my absolute, unforgiving best effort yesterday? If the answer is no, the feeling of unworthiness is justified. Go fix it. But if the answer is yes, if you honestly bled in the gym, if you worked until you were broken, if you enforced a championship standard in the dark, then that voice of doubt is a liar. You have earned the right to be on that stage. You have earned the right to take that shot. You have earned the right to demand success. The only way to kill the fear of being exposed is to perform with such consistent, overwhelming quality that the question becomes irrelevant. You don't need to believe you are worthy, you need to prove it. The only way to prove it is through execution. Stop asking for validation. Go dominate the moment and let the scoreboard declare your worth. Let's change the way you see fear. Stop seeing it as an enemy. See it as your harshest, most honest coach. When you feel that intense anxiety before a major presentation, a critical deadline, or the final shot, that feeling is not a signal to retreat. It's a signal that your internal system is running a high-stakes simulation. It's telling you exactly where your preparation is weak and where the opposition will attack. If your fear is about the competitor, it tells you go study the tape again. Find their tendency, exploit their weakness. If your fear is about a technical failure, it tells you go back to the basics, drill the fundamentals until the movement is automated. Fear is not a breakdown, it's a detailed instant diagnosis. The champion uses this diagnosis immediately. They don't try to suppress the anxiety, they translate it directly into actionable focus. They allow the fear to sharpen their senses, heighten their awareness, and eliminate any possibility of complacency. The average person tries to calm down. The winner allows the tension to build and then channels that massive energy into laser-like execution. You are stronger than you think because you have the capacity to take this negative, paralyzing energy and flip the switch to make it a productive tool. You don't need courage to eliminate fear, you need discipline to utilize it. Look fear in the eye, nod and say, thanks for the feedback, now watch me win anyway. Let's address the core of worthiness again because it's the biggest lie the weak mind tells itself. You think worthiness is inherited. You think it's granted by a title, a degree, or a compliment. No. Worthiness is built rep hard by painful rep through the consistency of your action. When I was cut from the team, I didn't feel worthy. I felt rejected, small, and angry. But I didn't go home and cry about my feelings. I went to the gym and doubled my workload. That wasn't an act of revenge against the coach. It was an act of self-respect. Every drop of sweat was a deposit into my worthiness account. I proved to myself silently in the dark that I was willing to sacrifice more than anyone else. The moment you question your right to succeed, you must immediately return to the evidence. Your evidence is your body of work. Is your preparation undeniable? Did you cheat on the last drill? Did you cut a corner yesterday? If you did, your feeling of unworthiness is correct, and you must go fix the effort. But if you paid the price, if you lived by the championship standard, then your worthiness is non-negotiable. You are worthy because you worked. You are worthy because you endured. You are worthy because you refused to quit when the pain was maximum. Stop asking if you deserve it. Go out and take it with the confidence that only maximum effort can buy. Your right to be here is not a hope. It is a fact earned in the solitude of the grind. Let's get rid of the weakest habit you have, whining. Whining is the sound of your inner child demanding that the universe be fair. Newsflash, the universe doesn't care about your feelings. It only rewards action and adaptation. When you whine about the bad call, the unfair market, or the lack of luck, you are doing two things. You are wasting critical time, and you are surrendering your power. The fear you feel is a direct energy source. When you whine, you leak that energy. When you act, you channel it. Stop treating your obstacles like reasons to complain. Treat them like strategic challenges that demand an immediate, cold-blooded response. Did the opponent just steal the ball? Don't yell at the referee. Sprint back and steal it back. Did the market just crash? Don't panic. Calculate the new entry points. The greatest measure of your strength is not what you do when things are easy, but your fierce refusal to quit or complain when everything is falling apart. That moment when your body is screaming and your mind is fractured, that's the moment you must look at your own weakness and say, I am bigger than this. You will win this, you will get through this, but only if you eliminate the noise and focus solely on the immediate necessary task. Your life is too important to be spent complaining about its difficulty. Stop pitying yourself. Take control, shut up and perform. This is the end of the conversation. Now comes the moment of truth. You've analyzed the fear. You've exposed the lie of unworthiness. You've been reminded that your worth is built on effort, not on feelings. All the philosophy, all the aggression, all the motivation, it means nothing until you stand up and translate it into action. The ultimate battle is not the championship game or the final negotiation. The ultimate battle is the internal commitment you make when you are alone, exhausted, and the world is demanding more. That commitment is your only defense against the paralyzing power of fear. Look at the fear you feel right now. It is proof that the objective is worthy of your full, relentless, unforgiving attention. You are strong enough to win. You are worthy because you decided to show up and bleed for the result. You paid the price. You earned the right to this moment. Now, stop thinking about failure. Stop thinking about success. Think only about execution. Reduce the entire chaotic situation to the next single necessary step. Take the shot, make the call, start the project. Do not hesitate. The time for talk is over. The time for the whining is finished. You are a warrior, you are a winner. Go prove it to yourself. The only thing left to do is just do the damn thing. You typed it into the search bar, hoping I would whisper the hidden code, the one weird trick that separates the champions from the almost theirs. You want the formula? You want the shortcut? Let me stop you right there. The first thing you have to understand about success, the true choking the air out of the room, legacy-defining success is this: there are no secrets. The moment you start looking for a secret, you are admitting a fundamental weakness. You are admitting you're hoping to dodge the work. And that weakness is the one thing that will always keep the champagne locked up and the trophy out of reach. I'm going to give you the blueprint. It's not a secret. It's a brutal contract. It's a series of non-negotiable truths that I didn't read in a book. I bled them out on the court every single day for 2 decades. You want to be successful? Then stop looking at the ring. Stop looking at the highlights. You have to understand 3 things, 3 fundamentals that are the same, whether you're shooting jumpers, closing a deal, or building an empire.
First, the obsession.
Most people would call it champions are possessed. There is a difference. Hard work is punching the clock. Obsession is hearing the ball bounce in your head when you're trying to sleep. Second, the standard, everyone has a goal. But nobody, absolutely nobody, is willing to enforce their own standard the way greatness demands. Your greatest competitor is the level of effort you settled for yesterday. Third, the cost. Success is not free. It is paid for with isolation, with judgment, with the quiet sacrifice of everything comfortable. You must know the debt, and you must be ready to pay it in full without complaint. If you don't have the stomach for these three things, stop watching now. Go back to your comfort. But if you're still here, if you feel that ugly, burning desire for more than average, then let's get into the dark side of the game. You think you know work ethic, you had a few long days, you skipped a party once. That's a hobby. Obsession is a disease you choose to contract. It's the constant gnawing dissatisfaction with anything less than perfect execution. It's a relentless, self-inflicted pressure that makes you your own worst critic, your own harshest coach. When I talk about obsession, I'm talking about the story of the shot against Cleveland, the shot. Everyone remembers the ball going in. They don't remember the thousands of times I practiced that exact move, the crossover, the hang time, the body control in an empty gym in the off season. I didn't practice until I got it right. I practiced until I couldn't get it wrong. The moment you become obsessed, your perspective shifts. The challenge is no longer the opponent standing across from you. The challenge is your own mind trying to trick you into taking the easy way out. The enemy is the alarm clock. The enemy is the couch. The enemy is the voice that says you've done enough. You have to treat that internal voice of comfort like a trash talker on the opposing team. You silence it with performance. This is the fuel. This is the difference between showing up and taking over. If you're willing to settle for average effort when no one is watching, you will get average results when the world is watching. Obsession means you are always running full speed, even in a scrimmage, even in a drill, even when the score is 0-0. You don't just want the win, you crave the process of earning the win. This commitment to the process is the first heaviest piece of the success contract, and it costs you your sleep, your downtime, and your shallow relationships. The second piece of the blueprint is the standard. This is where 99% of ambitious people fail. They set a goal, a championship, $1 billion, a finished book, and they chase it. But a champion doesn't chase the goal. They live by a standard that makes the goal inevitable. My standard was non-negotiable excellence in everything I controlled. If I was shooting 100 jump shots and I made 99, I didn't celebrate the 99. I did the drill over. The one missed shot was a catastrophic failure, a potential loss of a championship. It wasn't realistic. Success isn't realistic. It's an imposition of your will onto a chaotic world. You have to demand more from yourself than anyone else would dare to ask. Think about the players I played with. Some were great, some were good, but if you were on the Bulls, you didn't just meet the league standard, you met my standard. And my standard was zero tolerance for laziness, zero tolerance for excuses, and zero tolerance for soft effort. People called me a tyrant, a bad teammate. I called it necessary cruelty. If I saw a weakness in a teammate, I attacked it. Why? Because the enemy wasn't the guy in the other jersey. The enemy was the weakness that would cost us in the fourth quarter. If they could not handle my pressure in practice, they would certainly crack when the whole world was watching. You have to enforce this standard in your own life. Stop lying to yourself. You say you want financial freedom, but you spend an hour every morning scrolling. You say you want a world-class physique, but you skip the last 2 reps because they burn. That gap between what you say you want and what you are willing to tolerate is the graveyard of dreams. Close that gap. Enforce your standard like a debt collector. You owe yourself maximum effort, and until you pay up, you will remain unsuccessful. Now we get to the third and most chilling truth, the cost. Everyone wants the glory, but nobody wants the bill. The cost of true success is not measurable in dollars. It is measured in the things you willingly, ruthlessly cut out of your life. You want to know why champions are different? They understand elimination. You have to eliminate distractions. You have to eliminate negative voices. And sometimes you have to eliminate people. People who don't understand the relentless, ugly necessity of your obsession. They call you selfish. They call you unbalanced. They say you're missing out on life. I'm telling you, those judgments are just the currency you pay. You pay for success with isolation. When everyone else is out celebrating a small win, you are back in the lab, drilling the weakness you found in your game. When your friends are watching the game, you are studying the opponent's eyes. That choice to be alone with the work that is the tax collected on greatness. The higher you climb, the fewer people are up there with you. It's a lonely view, but it's the only view that matters. And then there's the mental cost. I lost my father. I retired and chased a baseball dream. That period was crushing. It was the universe throwing every personal disaster it could find at me. You cannot avoid life's tragedies, but you can choose how you process them. You can let the tragedy define you, or you can use the pain to forge a deeper, harder core of resilience. I didn't conquer the pain, I accepted it as fuel. I turned the sadness, the anger, the doubt into a silent internal mandate. Work harder, honor the sacrifice. The secret is that your greatest sorrow is actually your most potent, untapped source of strength. You are stronger precisely because of what tried to break you. Let's dissect failure. You treat it like a brick wall. I treated it like a necessary conversation. Every missed shot, every lost game, every business deal that went sour, that wasn't an ending. It was just feedback. The world giving you free information about where your preparation, your effort, or your focus was lacking. The average person gets failure and retreats. The champion gets failure, listens to the message, and immediately applies the correction. I miss over 9,000 shots. Think about that volume of failure. If I had allowed the sting of those misses to create hesitation, I would have stopped shooting. But hesitation is a poison. It is the fear of looking bad, the fear of judgment. You have to destroy that fear. How? By accepting fully and brutally that failure is simply part of the tuition for success. You pay it up front, often in pain and public embarrassment, but the knowledge you gain is non-transferable and invaluable. Look at the dynamics of the last shot. Everyone is watching, the air is thick, you're exhausted, your body is screaming. That moment is not about talent, it's about premeditated calmness. Because I had practiced that shot, that move, under fabricated pressure thousands of times, my body knew what to do when my mind was overloaded. The work eliminates the drama, the grind eliminates the fear. The secret power is realizing that you have the right to impose your will on the moment. The clock doesn't dictate your effort, you dictate your effort. The opponent doesn't control the outcome, you control your execution. When you step onto your stage, you are not hoping for success, you are there to demand it through the sheer weight of your preparation. If you've done the work, if you've paid the obsession, upheld the standard, and accepted the cost, then the moment of truth is just another day in the gym. The fear dissipates when you realize you've already paid for the win. I want to talk about the most insidious killer of dreams, the word good. Good is comfortable. Good is acceptable. Good gets you paid, gets you applause, and gets you a pat on the back. But good is the prison of the truly ambitious. I didn't play the game to be good. I played the game to be the standard. I played to redefine what was possible, to be the yardstick against which future generations would be measured. And that means you have to constantly, savagely reject the temptation to be merely good. There's a burden that comes with true greatness. It's the burden of expectation, not from the media or the fans, but from yourself. When you achieve a high level, the struggle changes. It's no longer about climbing to the top. It's about pushing the ceiling higher, even when the air gets thin and there's nobody to motivate you but the reflection in the glass. This is where the obsession pays its final dividend. It transforms your work from a means to an end into the only meaningful purpose. When you succeed, people will tell you to relax. They'll tell you to enjoy it, to take a break. That's the most dangerous moment. Because success is not a destination. It's a temporary state of being that requires continuous compounding effort. The moment you coast, the moment you allow comfort to creep into your routine, is the moment your competitors start catching up. The price of maintaining greatness is often higher than the price of achieving it. So if you reach your goal, do not celebrate the end of the work. Celebrate the fact that your standard has just been reset. The work never ends, it only becomes more interesting, more challenging, and more vital. That is the secret longevity of champions. They treat the victory as the start of the next, harder climb. If you want to sustain success, you must eliminate good from your vocabulary and demand unprecedented from your actions. You want to talk about true weakness? Let's talk about the first retirement. I was exhausted. The body, the relentless machine, finally started sending out distress signals. I had achieved everything, but the internal motor was sputtering. I walked away, not because I was done with the game, but because I needed to test the depth of my obsession and the resilience of my standard outside the comfortable setting of the NBA. My body betrayed me when I tried baseball. It was humiliation. I was the greatest in the world at one thing, and suddenly I was an absolute beginner, swinging and missing, struggling with the basics. That feeling, the raw public mediocrity, is enough to break most egos. But that was the greatest lesson the universe ever gave me. It taught me that my commitment was to the grind, not just to the outcome. I had to start over. I had to pay the price of admission all over again. The secret to success isn't staying on top. It's learning how to come back when you have been knocked down to zero. That return, the second three-peat, the defiance of age and expectation, that was not driven by talent. It was driven by the cold, unforgiving knowledge that I had more effort left in the tank. I had more will to impose. When I came back, the league had changed. The young players were faster, stronger. They saw me as the old man, the legend. They could finally beat. I used that. I took their doubt, their disrespect, and I added it to my fuel tank. Every grueling practice was a direct answer to the question, is he still the greatest? I didn't answer with words, I answered with the execution of my standard. You are defined by your ability to rise after you have chosen to fall or after you have been pushed down. The comeback is the highest form of success because it proves the supremacy of the will over time and circumstance. Let's wrap this up with the most important truth, the one you can't delegate, you can't outsource, and you can't buy. Success is not an accident. It is a choice you make every single moment. You have to choose obsession over distraction. You have to choose to enforce the standard over accepting comfort. You have to choose to pay the full cost of isolation and sacrifice. This isn't motivation, this is a mandate. This is the contract you sign with yourself the minute you decide you want to be exceptional, not just average. I am not telling you that the road is easy. The road is brutal, it is lonely, and it is paved with the judgment of people who quit. But here's the power: the level of your success will be directly proportionate to the strength of your internal resistance to quitting. You have to fall in love with the discomfort. You have to treat the pressure cooker as your natural habitat. When you walk away from this video, stop looking for secrets. Stop looking for my endorsement. Stop looking for external validation. Go back to your court, your office, your studio, your practice field, and enforce the contract. Look at your own reflection and ask, am I giving my absolute unforgiving best right now? Am I operating at a world-class standard? If the answer is no, you have to find that deep, ugly, beautiful will and make it yes. The ultimate secret is that there is no destination. There is only the next level of effort. There is always more to demand of yourself. Go take ownership of the grind. Go pay your dues. And don't stop until you hear the sound of the chains breaking. Now go be undeniable. You know the job, you know the score, you know what has to be done. Yet you're stuck right now, hovering over the starting line, analyzing the risk, counting the cost, whispering that pathetic, weak question to yourself, can I do this? Let me answer that for you. Yes, you can, you will. You already know how to win. The only thing separating you from the victory you crave is the distance between your intention and your action. And right now, that distance is filled with a garbage pile of doubt, hesitation, and most unforgivable of all, whining. Stop analyzing it. Stop checking the temperature. Stop waiting for the perfect sign. The perfect sign is the feeling of urgency burning in your gut right now. That fire is your conscience telling you that you are wasting time, wasting talent, and disrespecting the work you've already put in. You have been built for this moment. You have been trained for this pressure. You have failed enough times to know exactly where the traps are. The only thing you have left to do is to impose your will on the moment. You don't need a pep talk. You need a slap in the face. Get your hands off your excuses. Get your head into the game and simply execute. The time for questioning is over. The time for winning is now. Let's talk about the sound I hate the most, the whine. That high-pitched, self-pitying drone that comes out of people who are exhausted but refuse to finish. They complain about the opponent, the rules, the schedule, the market, or the lack of luck. When you whine, you are doing two terrible things. First, you are giving your opponent a free advantage because you are spending energy complaining instead of planning. Second, and more importantly, you are admitting to your own soul that you are not capable of solving the problem. You are trading your agency for a complaint. I didn't conquer the league by whining about the bad boys Pistons' physical defense. They were fouling me, they were hitting me, they were trying to take me out. I had two choices: complain to the refs and hope for a penalty, or go to the weight room and make my body strong enough to absorb the hit and finish the play. I chose the weight room, I chose the grind. I chose strength over sympathy. Stop looking for sympathy. Sympathy is cheap. It buys you nothing but a temporary moment of comfort. The only currency that matters is results. You need to look at your current crisis, your current exhaustion, your current doubt, and say, this is my trial. This is where I prove my worth. Every challenge is a chance to show yourself how powerful you truly are. You will win this, but only if you drop the narrative that you are a victim. The champion mentality is simple: shut up and perform. Most people think winning happens on the scoreboard. They think victory is the sound of the final buzzer. That's the celebration. The real victory, the one that matters, happens hours, days, sometimes years before the crowd even shows up. You win the battle in the dark. I won my championships, not during the finals in June, but in the grueling summer heat of the offseason. I won when I chose the gym over the beach. I won when I chose the extra 500 jump shots over the extra hour of sleep. I won because my preparation created an insurmountable psychological advantage. By the time I walked onto the court, I didn't hope to win. I knew it. The game was just the required public declaration of the work I had already done. This is the secret power you need to harness. The certainty of your success should be directly proportionate to the brutality of your effort. If you are currently nervous, if you are doubting, if you are paralyzed by the fear of failure, it is because you haven't put in the work required to eliminate that fear. Fear is a function of lack of preparation. Confidence is the debt you owe yourself for the hours you spent grinding. So stop waiting for inspiration. Stop waiting for courage. Get up right now and attack the preparation. Make your routine so rigorous. Make your effort so uncompromising that when the moment of truth arrives, your mind is quiet, your heart is cold, and your only thought is, this is easy. I've done this 1,000 times. You want to win? Pay the price in advance. You're dwelling on yesterday's loss. You're replaying the mistake, the missed opportunity, the public blunder. You're letting that single event define your entire capability. That is weak. Failure is not a tombstone. It is a map. It is the most precise instruction manual you will ever receive. When I missed a shot, I didn't cry in the locker room. I replayed the whole sequence in my head over and over until I identified the exact fraction of a second where my technique broke down or where my focus wavered. That analysis, that cold, hard, unforgiving self-assessment, was my next day's training plan. Most people treat failure like poison. They avoid it. They deny it. They pretend it didn't happen. Champions treat failure like fertilizer. They take the messy, humiliating truth of the mistake and they use it to nourish the next iteration of their effort. You are stronger than you think precisely because your capacity to learn from pain is infinite. Stop being afraid to look bad. Stop worrying about what the critics say. The critics are irrelevant because they are not in the arena bleeding for the result. The only voice that matters is the one telling you that didn't work. Now fix it. Failure is the price of admission to the next level. If you're not failing often, you're not pushing hard enough. Take the blow, absorb the lesson, and punch back immediately, harder and smarter. You came here saying you need to be strong, you need to be a winner. But every time you say, I can't, or it's too hard, or they were unfair, you are voluntarily putting on the victim uniform. The victim is passive. The victim waits for external forces, luck, a handout, a change in circumstance to save them. The victim complains about the game instead of learning how to dominate it. And I'm telling you, you have no time to be a victim. You are a competitor, a builder, a warrior. Your only job is to impose your will on the chaos around you. The world doesn't care about your pain. It only respects power. And power is generated internally. It comes from the fierce private decision to take 100% responsibility for everything that happens, good or bad. Did you lose? Your fault. Did the market crash? Your problem to solve. Did the teammate fail? Your job to lift him up or carry the damn team yourself. Stop assigning blame. Blame is just noise. It's a distraction from the work. When you choose the victim role, you forfeit your ability to act. You become a spectator in your own life. The moment you take full ownership, the power returns to your hands. You realize that if it's your fault, you can also fix it. If you can fix it, you can win. Stop giving away your power. You are not weak. You are simply making weak choices. Get your hands out of the air, put them on the tools and fix the damn problem. You talk about being strong, but where is your willpower getting its training? You go to the gym to train your biceps, you go to the track to train your lungs, but your will, the single most important muscle you possess, you leave soft, unexercised, and vulnerable to the slightest resistance. You need to understand that the will is not some mystical, endless wellspring of energy. It is a muscle that must be broken down and rebuilt, just like your quads. And the only way to train it is to consistently, deliberately choose the hardest path when an easier one is available. Did you choose the cold shower over the hot one? Did you choose the raw, honest critique over the flattering lie? Did you choose the extra hour of grueling, focused work over the relaxation you earned? Every single one of those choices is a rep for your will. If you consistently choose comfort, your will atrophies. If you consistently choose confrontation, your will becomes steel. The pain you feel right now, that desperate urge to give up, is the precise moment your will is being tested. That voice telling you to quit is the resistance that gives you strength. Don't fight the resistance, use it, push against it, absorb it, and let it harden your resolve. You are not strong because you feel good, you are strong because you perform even when you feel terrible. Stop waiting for motivation. Enforce your will like a dictator over your own body and mind. You need to operate under a single, non-negotiable code. Action is the only antidote to anxiety. The reason you are paralyzed right now, the reason you are whining instead of winning, is because you have substituted thinking for doing. You are stuck in the analysis loop, running the probabilities of failure in your head instead of running the drill. That loop is a cage. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. A true warrior doesn't spend time debating the worthiness of the battle. He executes the plan. He trusts the training. He moves with a purpose that eliminates doubt. Doubt is a luxury you cannot afford when you are chasing greatness. You have to simplify your life down to the bare essentials. What is the next immediate high leverage action? Is it the first phone call, the first chapter, the first hour of focused, brutal work? Whatever it is, you need to eliminate all secondary thoughts, silence the weak internal voice, and attack that task with 100% of your focus. The strength you seek is not intellectual, it is physical and immediate. It is the power to stand up when you want to sit down. The power to say yes to the work when your mind is screaming no. Stop debating your worth. Your worth is proven through the consistency of your effort. If you are thinking, you are losing. If you are acting, you are winning. The only solution to your problem is motion. Get off the line and just run the damn play. Look at the difference between a champion and everyone else. When something goes wrong, a bad call, a market correction, a betrayal, the average person adds drama. They panic, they shout, they dedicate time and mental energy to the injustice. The champion eliminates drama. They treat the setback like a technical foul. It's unfortunate, it costs a point, but it's now history. They immediately pivot to the next play mentality. The clock is ticking. The game demands a solution, not a spectacular display of emotion. The secret power you need to cultivate is cold objectivity. You must look at your current problem, the debt, the physical pain, the lost client, and strip away the emotion. Reduce it to its simplest form. What is the objective, measurable task required to neutralize this threat? You don't need to cry about the loss of $10,000. You need a plan to earn $12,000. Whining is drama. Self-pity is drama. Blaming others is drama. Drama is wasted energy. Every second you spend in that emotional loop is a second you could have spent calculating, training, or executing. You are stronger than you think because your mind is capable of this cold, calculating focus. You just choose to let noise and emotion rule it. Stop being an actor in a tragedy. Be an engineer solving a problem. Get rid of the drama. Get back to the cold, hard logic of winning. Your body is a liar. It is a brilliant, highly sophisticated machine designed for one thing above all else: survival through comfort. The moment you ask it to push past its baseline, it will start screaming, it will invent pain, it will conjure fatigue, it will whisper, "You deserve a break." This is the ultimate test of your strength. You need to look at your body, your hands, your legs, your burning lungs, and recognize that its desire for rest is an act of betrayal against your higher goal. You are not strong because you can avoid the pain. You are strong because you can perform through the pain. When I played the flu game, my body was actively revolting. Every cell was telling me, lie down, you are sick, you are done. That moment was not about scoring points, it was about the supremacy of the will over the physical machine. I took that weakness, that fever, and I forced it to operate at an elite level. Stop listening to the voice of laziness. Laziness is not a state of being, it's a moral failure disguised as fatigue. You are not too tired to do the work, you are simply undisciplined enough to choose comfort. You have reserves you will never tap into if you stop every time your body complains. You have the fuel, you have the will. Stop negotiating with your own internal weakness and force the machine to perform. The body serves the mind. Make your mind the absolute unforgiving master. You need to internalize the single gold standard of a winner. You must become undeniable. What does undeniable mean? It means your performance is so consistent, so overwhelming, and so far above the average that the critics, the doubters, and the haters have nothing left to say. They cannot deny the results. They cannot deny the effort. They cannot deny your presence. Most people focus on being good enough. They aim for a passing grade, a decent score, an acceptable performance. That is a recipe for being deniable. You leave room for doubt. You leave room for the competition to catch up. You leave room for the weak internal voice to say, see, you almost made it. Undeniable means you have to build a margin of excellence that is so wide, failure becomes an improbable accident. This margin is built through the extra hour of study, the extra mile run, the extra layer of focus applied when your mind is screaming for rest. This is where you prove your strength, not when you barely scrape by, but when you dominate with a quiet, efficient, and overwhelming force. Stop leaving room for doubt in your preparation. Stop allowing excuses to chip away at your execution. Go for the knockout. Go for the performance that silences every room you enter. You are stronger than you think, but that strength is useless until you translate it into an undeniable output. Take control, just make the results inevitable. You complain about being alone. You look for community, for people who are on your level. But here's the truth of the champion. The higher you climb, the lonelier the view becomes. You are not meant to be surrounded by people who understand your drive. If they understood it, they would be right there beside you, fighting for the same rare air. Your ambition, your will to dominate is your private sacred weapon. It is a force that most people fear and misunderstand. They will call you obsessed. They will call you selfish. They will try to pull you back down into the safety of mediocrity because your relentless drive highlights their own lack of effort. Their judgment is the tax you pay for your superiority. You must sever your reliance on their approval. Your strength is not dependent on their cheering. It is dependent on the unforgiving mirror, the daily confrontation with your own effort. When I walked away from the game the first time, people called it retirement. I called it an experiment in isolation, a test of whether my drive was external or internal. It was internal. You are stronger than you think because you have the capacity to embrace the solitude, use the silence, use the lack of cheering. It sharpens your focus. It forces you to rely on the only thing that truly matters, the consistency of your own discipline. Stop looking for partners in the valley. Climb the mountain alone, and when you reach the top, you will realize that the only person you ever needed was the one who refused to quit. Superiority is a lonely business. Embrace it. Let's discuss the power that comes from being completely broken down. Not emotionally, but functionally. When you hit a major wall, a bankruptcy, a public failure, a physical injury that stops you cold, that moment is a terrifying stress test. The average person treats this moment as the end of the road. They pack up, they mourn the loss, and they use the magnitude of the disaster as a permanent excuse for quitting. The champion treats this moment as the ultimate diagnosis. A loss or a breakdown is the universe forcing you to see the weakest link in your system. It forces you to see where your foundation was shaky, where your effort was fraudulent, or where your confidence was brittle. You don't rebuild by ignoring the fracture. You rebuild by attacking the weak point with obsessive focus. When I suffered an injury, my focus didn't shift to pity, it shifted to engineering. How do I strengthen the surrounding muscles? How do I change my technique to compensate? How do I use this forced absence to study the game in a way my healthy competitors are too busy to do? I turned the tragedy into a strategic advantage. You are stronger than you think because your capacity for recovery is tied directly to your will to learn. Stop seeing the disaster as a reason to quit. See it as an expensive, painful, but ultimately irreplaceable masterclass in where you need to apply the most unforgiving effort. Get back to basics, get the wrench, get back to the lab. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be rebuilt better and stronger than before. Let's address the final critical step, the one where most people, even those who have done 99% of the work, fall apart. Execution. You've done the preparation, you've endured the pain, you've silenced the whining. Now the clock is ticking. The pressure is real. And the moment demands action. You are not paid for your effort. You are paid for your performance. And performance is the precise, cold delivery of what you practice in the dark. The magic of winning is that there is no magic. It's just the ruthless efficiency of doing exactly what you train for. When I took the game-winning shot, I wasn't thinking about the score, the crowd, or the pressure. I was thinking footwork, elbow tuck to follow through. I reduced the moment of chaos to a sequence of practice fundamentals. Your moment of triumph is not the time for innovation. It is the time for a robot-like discipline. You must eliminate the internal debate and the self-doubt and simply trust the thousands of hours of grinding you have already banked. Your mind is the architect. Your hands are the executioners. Do not let the architect argue with the executioner when the time comes to build. Stop hoping for a miracle. You are the miracle. Your capacity for focus, your ability to ignore the noise, and your willingness to commit to the final necessary action that is your strength. Take the shot, make the call, write the code. Do not hesitate. Just lock in and finish the play. The time for being scared is over. Go get what you earned. You walked in here feeling sorry for yourself, looking for some magic affirmation. I'm not a magician. I'm a competitor. And I'm telling you that the whining stops now. You don't need my permission to be great. You need to demand it from your own reflection. You are not weak. Your circumstances are not impossible. Your challenges are not unique. The only thing separating you from the win is the choice to stop negotiating with the softest part of your mind. The victory you crave is paid for in advance, not with money, but with discipline. You pay with the early mornings. You pay with the relentless pursuit of perfection when no one is watching. You pay with the decision to absorb the hit, learn the lesson, and punch back harder. I never achieved anything by wishing for it. I achieved it by committing to the brutal, monotonous, and unforgiving grind until the result was inevitable. That level of certainty is your only defense against doubt. So I am giving you an ultimatum. Get over yourself. You have the training, you have the talent, you have the will. Stop wasting time proving how hard it is and start proving how strong you are. Walk away from this and choose action over anxiety. Choose winning over whining. Your life, your business, your game, it all demands a result. Go and deliver. Do the damn thing.